Hi guys, it's Karen. I am here today to do kind of a haul, not really a minor haul, on some markers, brush markers, dual-ended markers, and watercolor brush pens. So then I thought, well, if I'm going to show you those, I might as well show you what I use for brush lettering. So for the paper to practice on, I use this. You get it at Amazon, and it is not very expensive, and it's just regular printer paper, but it's really smooth and it won't wreck your pens. If you practice a lot on just regular copy paper, they're going to get wrecked because it's going to pull them, and the brush nib is going to pull apart and make a mess. So this paper that I just showed you, it's too heavy to lift again, I use when I am just fooling around, practicing, but not really for any specific reason, just for the heck of it. So that is the paper that I use. Paper that I've used when I first took my class, which I absolutely love the class that I had. It irritated me more than anything because I saw people on YouTube learning to, I'm going to just crank it down just a touch. I saw them just going right from, knowing nothing, going straight for what you're supposed to end up with. The way I was taught was to learn first the movements so you get muscle memory, and you automatically learn to go up lightly and down, thick strokes. I definitely go faster than I should, and I did that from the very beginning, and I don't know why, but I am trying to slow myself down. So while learning that, I used Kelly Creates Write On, it's called, and it is graph paper, as you can see. And I would also make lines this way just to check and see how I was arranging things, if I wanted to make a sign with the bigger pens and whatnot. So this I used all the time. I also used this, which is on Amazon, and again, not a huge outrageous price, but Rhodia. And this also has the the graph paper basically, but again, it has that really smooth texture, which is what you want to do, because the pens are expensive and you don't want to have to keep buying them because you've written on. And I'm not saying you could never like write a note to someone on a note card you got, or make a quick note out of the trash. You just need a piece of paper. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for long uses with the pen, you are definitely going to want to use something like this. And then when I got past the graph paper, I went to the slow and steady situation, which is basically, instead of a graph, it has, I'm trying to find the empty one, it has dots. I don't know if you can see those, but they're dots. And it's kind of meant for you to go from the graph paper to the dots, and then being able to write on the paper without lines and all that. So that I graduated to, and you kind of graduate your own self to where you want to be. So that's where I started. Now the pens I started with, you basically, I also have books from that course that I took, which I'll leave down at the bottom. What am I saying? The brushes that I used, I was more into the small brushes, like this little tiny tip pen. You see that? It actually looks like a medium, but anyway, I used those. I like the smaller ones a lot better. I do use the big Tombow ones also. And I'll just kind of show you the different ones that I've used. Oh, I just want to show you this other paper. And this basically is for your Copics. When you are going to draw and color in on Copic paper, well, with your Copics, I mean, this Express It blending card I got this on Amazon, and it is expensive. It's really expensive. I think for this, which is 125 sheets, I think it was around 40 something dollars. But I only use it when I know I got the markers out. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not just doodling because it's expensive. So when you go to Copics, that's the paper you want to go to. And I didn't pick this. Actually, Jazza, if you go to Draw with Jazza, Jazza, he's totally amazing and can make art out of, and he just does. He's like a walking, oh, let me point and there will be art. And he also, like, he's kind of crazy, and sometimes I have to turn the volume down because he yells a lot, and it's quite loud. So, yeah, but I do watch him every day. I go back because I started looking for people when I got into, wanted to start my drawing again. And then I wasn't ready, so I did the calligraphy, brush lettering, whatever you want to call it. I did that instead, and when I was done with that, not done with it, but done with the course, I was practicing all the time. And the muscle memory that they talk about, it really does happen. So, yeah. So let me hang on because I'll be right back. Still here. Just turning the corner. On my way back, turning another corner. I'm sorry, I was so busy getting stuff for the class that I did not prepare correctly. And I have glasses in my Diet Coke jar. And we know I won't be able to get through it without it. So I appreciate you waiting for me. I hope you were talking amongst yourselves. Okay, much better. Okay, so where was I? So I started with, and I know I can pronounce this when no one's listening. It's Fudenosuke brushes, pen brushes. And they come in the blue barrel, which is this, which is like a harder brush tip. And then it also comes with a black one, because they're usually together in the package. You can find them other places separately, but they are usually in a package together. So, black and blue. Now, let me just show you with a piece of that fun paper. And again, this is the copy paper, the HP. And the blue one, which is the one I love, oh, you can't even see that because you know what? I didn't put you down. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. I had to get rid, well, I didn't get rid of it. It's right behind you. But the other thing, my son said, you always got to point it at your boobs, but this is doing it too. So what am I supposed to do? Get rid of my boobs? I don't know. All right, maybe that's better. Anyway, so when I started learning, basically you would go up and it would be thin, and then you would go down and it would be thick. And you do this a million gazillion times till you can do it in your sleep. But that's what you'll spend your first month on. Not really a month, but you know what I mean. And then eventually, when you want to write your alphabet, you know to go up lightly and come down darker. And it doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, I can barely put pressure. It's not light enough. As long as your strokes that go up are lighter than the ones that come down, then you're good. So the partner in crime to this is the black one, which has more of a flexible tip. And I don't like it because I feel like I'm getting too much ink and it's not going to be right, or I'm not going to be able to show my upstrokes and downstrokes good enough, which isn't right. And because I told you my motto for my room is don't measure yourself by someone else's ruler. You can't look at other people that started at the same time and you think that they're doing so much better then they are, and it's just, you don't want to stop that because it's crazy talk. And unfortunately, that's been in my head for like the past 40 years. So anyway, so those, if you go to Michael's or Joann's, or I think I got some at Hobby Lobby, they come in a package of 2 for like $7, and then you can use your 40% coupon off. I also bought them from AliExpress, which I'm going to talk about AliExpress towards the end. Okay, different other markers. In the beginning, we have our Crayola, and you would think, what am I going to do with the Crayola marker? And you would be surprised at how wonderful Crayola is. First of all, they're not very expensive, so that's great. These all come with kind of a bullet nib top, but it goes to a, I don't know the best way to show you. It does go to a point, but on the sides it's thicker. So when you get the thin one, that also can be the exact same tip, but in the same package of Crayola, which I forget what these are even called, this one has a brush nib. So it's like, I don't know where they figured all these things out, but there's also a smaller nib on the other end. One of these times I'll get it right. And I don't know what's on the other end of this one, which is also the tiny little fine point. Okay. So then, this is the brush one, which I haven't used in forever. Yeah, you have to kind of get used to the pens that you haven't touched in a while. But when you do the big one, even when you're practicing, you're just going to use the tip and go up, and when you come down, you're going to use the side, so that when you go to use it, it comes up just like you had a brush nib on it. So that again takes practice, and you just don't want to stick to one pen because you don't want to not be able to use any kind of other pen, because all you've ever used was this. So you want to make sure that you try different pens, and then the more pens you try, the more easy it is to use. Then there are this pens, and these are called Artline Sticks, and I do not remember how much these were, but basically they hold together like Legos, and I don't know why you would need that, but I kind of like them, but I kind of don't, because it's not comfortable to hold these because they have little nibs on them. And they also have a brush nib. I like the cover goes onto the end, and it's the same thing. It's just practicing, really. And then you can pick up different ways to do it. You could just do this. You can just do it this. You know, whatever you like to do. The more you play, the more you'll try things out and see what you like. So then there's green of that. These markers are from AliExpress. They are, oh, not you. Where's my other one? Oh. They usually come in a pack of 3 or 4 from AliExpress. They're all written in Chinese, so I don't know what they say, but they are basically a brush nib, a medium, a fine, and if you get the 4-piece, it should be, oh, wait a minute. No, these are the same. So this one has only 3 different nibs. And again, it's the fine. And if I showed you how slow you're supposed to go, you'd be amazed. This is how slow you are supposed to go. And I usually go, which is why sometimes I get sloppy. So that is the fine nib on that set. And then this is leaking, I think. No, it's not. It's a little thicker, and the nib is a little bouncier. And these I never use. I don't know why. I think it's that scratching. I don't know if you can hear it, but that bugs me. All right. So those three are from AliExpress. I believe you can get the set for $3 and something cents. So that's that. Then I have from Kelly Creates. She has the original black that she has does have a small, a medium, and a large nib. And I usually use the small one so much that the ink is wearing off. All right, so this is the small one. And as you can see, that was a lot faster than it should be. And this is the medium. And this is the large. Which is why I don't use it. It's always very juicy and drives me crazy. Okay, so then we have, these are, I believe, still called the Futosuke, but they are, the Touch is what it says on it. And all these come in all different colors, and these are all the fine ones. And I do love these. I just love that they come in the colors, and I love that they're easy to use. And you know, when you first learn, you're going to do your A's like this, and then you're going to come down hard. And then you can loop it, and when you connect, there's just, it goes on, the amount of information. And these are Kelly Creates again, and these are all small brush nibs. And again, they come in all the pretty colors. And so those are those. This is your Koi coloring brush pen. It's got the bigger nib. I don't use these that much either. But you can see, if you're going to use the big nibs, then you definitely need the bigger size paper or area to use them. You can't come in and expect to get a bee like this when you're using a pen like that. Then, oh, this is like the old-fashioned calligraphy, you know, with the nib that stays at a certain angle, and you do that, but I haven't done that since high school. All right, then you get to your big guys. Oh no, let me do this first. So these are also the Kelly Creates, and they are the aqua brushes. That's all it says. So I think that you can color, and then you can add water, and I think everything watercolors. So we'll just try a yellow. I haven't used yellow. And this is not a big brush nib, but it is a floppy one, and it's kind of made, I don't know if you can see that, but with a like a regular brush where it spreads out. I don't know if you can see that. But again, it takes practice, and I certainly have not. Well, you saw I just opened them. So you just got to practice not putting your whole pressure down on your downstroke, and my hands are shaking because I haven't used this, and I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. See how honest I am? I could be blaming it on a bunch of different things. My table legs are loose, and that's why I can't do it straight. Nope. I am just right in your face, tell you like, no, I'm not. I am the biggest baby about telling anybody what I think. People could tell me, yeah, you did gain 95 pounds on top of what you weighed, and I'd say, I know. I did gain a ton of weight, and I'm, you know, don't say, oh, you look great, because I don't. Did you hear that, Cheryl? Did not put, oh, you look great in my thing. Sue, you either, because I have gotten extremely fat. I don't know why, and I know that I look like this, but it Doesn't seem to bother me because I had ice cream for lunch. I did mix in my Special K, so it felt healthier for me. But yeah, and you know what the culprit, what started my latest, oh, I already ate them, I can't even show you, is my cookies. I know I showed you on another video. Anyway, so besides my fat, so these are the Tombow, and I believe this color I got in our inky box, not this past one that I don't know why I got it, but I got it. And the other one is Marvy, is another one, not that I've purchased, it's come with different things and I just have it. But I do like it because it's a harder nib than the Tombow, so I feel like you haven't, I didn't put you down, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I just need to know how to use a real camera, and then I could really show you what I was doing without, as my children say, showing my boobs. All right, let's see. Flip it over. So between this and the Tombow, you can't, this one is harder than this one. So when it comes to doing the thin lining, it's much easier. And when I use this one and do that, it's just a little shakier, or just, I don't know. It's just a stiffer brush, and it really just makes it easier to use. And the thing is, it's not all Tombows. If one is driving me crazy, I go right on to grab a different one, because if I'm working with one all day, I need to switch, and I don't know why, but it works for me. So I do. So that is my info, and I will put everything down underneath. But the other reason that I was here, and then I figured, why tell you about this without going over this? So I got these in the mail. I don't know where they came from. I mean, I'm sure I bought them somewhere, but I can't find it. I can't find a receipt. Not this one. This I love. Yeah, and I thought, oh, those are those